Well, let's just get it started, all right? Let's just move that phone there. And let's take off the AirPod Max, which is dying. I can tell you why it's dying. We'll get to why it's dying. I want to point out that these are not my pair. I bought a pair. I went online. It's like the day of, and I'm like, all right, 11:30 a.m. Ooh, blue. That's a pretty color. Yeah, put right Zeos Pantera in it. I'm sure they'll be great. And then I'll order them, and it was $614 roughly. And I'm like, oh, thank you, patrons. So this is DMS's pair, who he got them in black. If you got them in boring black or boring white, you got them real early. He did his review. He did his impressions. And then he sent it to me, and it's been like 4 days. Mine still haven't shown up because I got it in an actual nice color. I should have got the pink one because no one's got the pink one. Or actually, maybe people are bored. So, I mean, okay. So this will be sold in the yard sale for any $5 patron or subscriber, because DMS is like, look, I bought them, I don't want to return them to Apple, sell them, get whatever you can, and just hand me the money. So I will do that. I will sell this set in the yard sale, and I will give DMS all the money. And then when my set arrives finally, which I didn't need to buy because I'm already doing the review, I'm probably going to keep them. But these headphones have remarkable technology that has exceeded my expectations and terrifying flaws that should give everyone that's watching this video pause. Speaking of pause, it doesn't pause the music. And I know that I'm on an Android device and this is not the absolute perfect scenario, and I know that people who have this, who have used it on Apple, have explained to me, oh, there's this option and then you can install the app, then there's like different EQ adjustments that make it sound better, and it's like, okay, stop. Let me go into this. So let's talk about build first. They came in a case, very nice Apple case. Everyone makes fun of the bra, and it is definitely, it looks like a bra, and it's covered in magnets that let it clip together. And this, there's a flaw to this. Number one, well, I mean, do I have to put it in this? So you do this, and now this weighs like, I drop things on the table all the time to sort of emphasize weight. That's like half a bowling ball. It like feels like half a bowling ball. This is such a it's ridiculously heavy once you put it in this little case. And then, like most headphone cases, I think we kind of know what those look like. They sort of protect everything around it. So Apple gives you this, which then turns this into your handle, which is, in theory, a good idea. In theory, except this is, and I actually do love this. I love the concept of it, the way they did it. I'm sitting in an Aeron chair. Look, see, it's suspended and it's soft and oh, it's nice. It's the same thing. They stole an Aeron chair's design and they made it into a headband. The problem comes when you have to use now as a handle, because then your fingertips touch it and it stretches it, and you know you're going to mess this material will not be infinite. It will. Shut off. It's gonna wear, and eventually I think it's gonna just be 2 metal bars on your head. Not very long either. I give it 3 months. 3 months, because they're weighty fuckers. So let's take it out of the case, which weighs a ton and is inconvenient and doesn't actually protect like the whole headphone, only protects parts of the headphone. Let's put that down. And the rest of the unit. I heard some people say it looks like 2 bars of soap on a thing, and I am actually pretty okay with the way it looks. This is, again, the black pair, which it isn't really black. It's sort of like a gunmetal gray. I'm okay with this. There's no Apple logo, because if that was the case, I would have just used them against the floor. They're understated as fuck. It's probably the best designed Apple product. I don't want to gag from it. Like, I hate the little just AirPods. The one with the little white stick. Everyone's got the white stick. So, I mean, these are a little bit pretentious, but at least, you know, they're not screaming what they are. And you could just get a sticker and put Megadeth sticker. Boom, right there. Plenty. I really was kind of fascinated by this hinge system because it slides in and out like a normal headphone there. But there's no fork or anything. It just pivots on a spring-loaded mechanism just inside of that, and it rotates fully one direction. It doesn't pivot there, and it pivots here, and then you rotate it. So I liked that at first. Like, that seems like a reasonable, remarkably engineered thing to do. Because, you know, well, do I get into, like, I'm doing build right now. Do I want to move over? Okay, no, we're good. I like that system. There's flaws with it. Because since it's spring-loaded like that, if you don't feel like manipulating the headband, like, you know, bending it, like, you know how I do that thing where I stretch it like this, you could have the problem where it's spring-loaded, and either it's pushing too hard at the bottom, or you adjust it height-wise, and it's pushing too hard at the top. I've managed to get it perfect, where it's evenly not trying to fuck with me. Because if you do it like that, then it's like too hard, but it's not in and out. It could get a little wonky. People's heads are very different. I don't mind the headband. I just think it's going to wear. And it's not like you'd add Taconi nuggets to this. They'd have to make this replaceable or have some way to re-stretch this down. I just feel it. The cups themselves, I don't hate the way they look. And here's your, I know it's dying, a lightning connector, a ton of little slits all over the thing for venting and microphones and shit like that up here. And I was expecting fully it to be one of those like touch surfaces, kind of like that Apple mouse that had one button, and it looks like the Apple mouse has one button. So here's where I start praising Apple for making good decisions. I know. Calm down. We're getting to the bad decisions. There is no touch surface on this. So Bose, Sony, you guys are the two leaders. You fucked up. Sony did it. They were first. They did the swipe thing up and down. It was great. And then Bose tried to copy that. And they only put it on like half of like a little section. So it was like impossible to fucking diggle your ear. It's impossible. Apple has put two controls. This button switches between ambient mode, which lets the surrounding sound in, and noise canceling mode. We'll get to those a little later. And they put a knob that pushes in. It's a button and a twisty knob, and you actuate it like that, and you press it like that. And that's the best system they could think of, and you know what? It's the best system. There's no touching, there's no swiping. It's play pause, which I don't know if it'll do it unless it's on my head, because right now it seems to actually be working. Yeah, there we go. We'll get to the other flaw, like it doesn't turn off. It doesn't disconnect when you just let it down. You have to put it in the case for it to like be off, which is why it's dying, because I used it earlier, and on my phone, I'm trying to watch a video. I'm like, why is it silent? And I'm 50 feet away from the fucking AirPods, and they're trying to play sound. I'm like, stop, disconnect Bluetooth. So you put them on your head. I'm not sure we're able to fake having it on there, but will it actually not? Yeah, so I can control the volume with the thing. Although I think I don't know if I like scrolling forward to go up and backwards to go down. I feel like that should be reversible, probably in an app somewhere. Like, I kind of want scrolling forward to be down and backwards to be up. I don't know. Press the button once to pause. Press the button twice to next track. Press the button 3 times to go back. Like, I closed it. So here, they close together. They did sensors in the bottom. It says, oh, you're not wearing it because they're touching. But it didn't pause my music. And almost all Bluetooth devices that can control play pause would have paused it by now. But it also doesn't disconnect. So they're just sitting there in like a standby mode forever until the battery dies. You pick them up, you put them on your head, and it waits till it like detects your ears. And we're going to talk about the pads too, because if you did not like the Ship 9500 pads, you ain't going to like the AirPod Max pads, because these, and they come off with magnets, are a fabric. And I'm like, where have I felt this before? The backseat of a 1998 Nissan Sentra, because it's like it's fabric, but it's not like a cotton fabric. It's like a synthetic fabric. And you know what? I'm even going to give the Ship 9500 pads a little bit more as far as like texture comfort. This is a very weird decision they made, because I mean, I guarantee this will not absorb sweat like the ships do. But it also has very strange properties on your face, especially if you have beard hair, which I know if you're a consummate Apple user, you are completely bald, top, head to toe, just all waxed off. So it's not going to bother most of you, unless you know then you have the really big bearded people. That's also going to be fine. I have some issues with this. We'll take these off for a second. I'm sure you'll be able to order these. They should, and they should have at launch had different sizes and different colors to, you know, suit your needs, because, you know, why wouldn't they want to sell more? My huge problems come from, if you want to look inside, there's a very standard looking driver in there. And obviously these are DSP corrected to the 9s. There's been a couple other DSP products recently that I'm like, this is the future of audio. DSP correction is the future of audio. And this would be no different, because we're going to get to the sound now. I'm going to jump into sound, because they don't, if you look how deep this is, right? You look how, like, wow, that's really fucking deep. Like, these are that's like a cup. If you look at how deep it is compared to the backside, there's almost no physical room. I should get my caliper out and measure this. But from where the magnet structure of this driver is, and I know there's videos looking at the inside of it, and I could pull these little screws out if I've had the tools, which of course I do, but I'm not doing that. There's no physical space behind the driver. And the thing is, they're not a small headphone. When you put this together, that is a pretty substantial thickness. So why go this far back? Like, why do that? Because all that does is prevent you as a company, as an instrument tuner, because this is a musical instrument, like a flute or a cello or a fucking trombone. You've removed any physical tuning. And I'm now going to bring up the other headphone that I wish I had one here, because that's wallpapers. Currently unavailable on Amazon, by the way. I'm only going to link to Amazon, because if you want to go get it, you'll go find it on Apple. But I need the clicks. So if they're ever available on Amazon, you'll click it in the description and be able to buy it. The Drop Panda, which is $400, not $600, is, in a word, the polar fucking opposite of this headphone as far as tuning goes. Where this headphone goes with the put a driver in, fuck it, just put it in and fix it with DSP correction. It is very possible to make the world's best sounding things with DSP correction. But you gotta have a little bit, just a tiny touch of respect for the physical fucking constraints of the real world. You can't make it the best thing ever without giving it some backspacing and some dampening and maybe some venting. Or this is just the inside of like a Takstar, and not even Takstar, they make good stuff. But there's like, I guarantee there's some $70 Chinese headphone that no one's ever heard of that has exactly this amount of holes and space behind it. Because I'm pretty sure everything around both of these sides is sensors, batteries, antennas, amplifiers, you name it. Nothing around the bulk of this donut is for acoustic tuning. And I mean real life acoustic tuning. Digital acoustic tuning is all day and night. Another fucking problem that I want to yell at Apple engineers for a second. Please let me get this out of my head, because I know somebody who actually turned down a job at Apple. He was going to be an engineer at Apple. He would have traveled to China and done all that. He was a brilliant fucking engineer. He said, no, I'm going to keep making ball bearings at this place because they're not stupid. Why did you do this, Apple? Because you're usually good, and I have faith in you a little bit. See, this says R and that says L. And in the pads, we see R and we see L. And it's very lightly stitched in there, which is kind of nice. It isn't like that blatant just print. A couple of headphones I have just printed L and R, which, I mean, no one's going to see it's in your head anyway. And then there's a little window here for the sensor to tell if you're wearing it. So if you put the right one in the right one and the left one in the left one, the little window lines up for the hull. That's fine. So if for whatever reason you took these out, maybe you wanted to rinse them off or wash them, if you got to put them back in, why did they just popped in backwards? Because now that says L and that says R, and their window is blocked. Okay, so what if I turn them in this way? Wait, what, like this? These fit in every orientation and direction, and will fuck up in all but one, where you have to go R, window. Okay. Now, the reason I want to yell at Apple engineers for this is you're using magnets, right? And this is probably just a metal beam in here or something. And that's where they screwed up. They should have put magnets in this and magnets in that. And then they could have had different polarities. And they could have made it so that there was no way to put the wrong side in the wrong side. You would go, slip, perfect. Oh, turn it around, do this. Perfect. And you could do it for left and right too. Or just put this fucking hole on both sides so that in case someone does put it in the wrong way, it doesn't fuck it up. Because I put it in backwards once, and it completely gets fucking weird. Because it can't smell your brains. It's what it does. Those little windows, I'm sure of it, it smells your brains. I love when my heater comes on. It's just so many noises. If I don't want to hear my heater, that's behind us, let's put this headphone on. Which, I mean, it's, as long as you look for the buttons, and I'm so glad there's only 2 buttons. Starts playing left, plays right. I can hear myself talking because we're in open mode. And now I put on noise canceling. And now there's nothing. You guys are hearing a heater behind me. I don't hear jack shit. These are the best in the world ever noise canceling devices ever. That's what, this is the reason I'm going to keep the set that's coming to me. I don't, the way they sound is meh. We're going to get to the meh sound in a second. But holy fucking God, I've used aircraft noise canceling headsets, like the big fuckers. And this is better. This is leagues better. This is better than the AirPod Pros, the little AirPod Pros that actually go in your ear with the foam tips. I tested these today. I had to go out shopping, and you shouldn't drive with headphones on. I'll give you that little warning. But I have a driveway, it's gravel, I have a truck, it was loud, it was cold, I had the heater on. And I threw these headphones on, you know, pulling out of my garage. And then I turned on noise canceling. And I couldn't tell what gear I was in. I couldn't tell I was driving on gravel. I couldn't hear the fan noise. I could hear nothing. It was like if you had game volume, right? And you usually run the game volume at like 80%. Make that 6%. Like, there was stuff happening. And if I would have blindfolded myself and then drove down, which I don't think that would have been helped at all. If you have a passenger, let's put it this way. If I had a passenger that was testing, or I was the passenger, and I was blindfolded and wearing these with noise canceling on, I would not be able to tell what the fuck is going on. It's complete sensory deprivation. There's just, I think the loudest noise, when I was shopping, I was pushing the shopping cart like on the asphalt, like, and I'm like, all right, hold on. Only that noise, only the sound of a shopping cart fucking rattling was just coming through in real life. And I'm like, oh God. So congratulations, Apple. You now have, if you need only that reason to buy it, there you go. However, it's 2020 or the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. When I used to review noise canceling headphones, it'd be like, oh, when you got on a plane and the baby's crying, you don't want to hear the baby crying, blah, 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 blah. No one's getting on a plane anymore, for like, not in bulk. And while we're all stuck at home, it isn't like beginning a quarantine where you're stuck with your whole family. So you really don't need to block out the kids. So noise canceling headphones are not as in demand, I don't think. If they are, please tell me in the comments what you think. Why do you want noise canceling for particularly? Because unless you're not commuting on the bus, I wouldn't be getting on a bus. But yeah, so now the opposite end of the spectrum is when you hit the button and you turn on open. And I was never more impressed than on the Apple AirPod Pros. You tapped them, and then it made it so the outside sounds get reamplified in. This shits on those. I honestly wasn't even playing music in the store because I had to pause it or take it off, and I was wearing them, and I had it in open mode. And you have to really, really pay attention to not realize that every sound you're hearing is coming through the computational data of the mics and being re-engineered. Placement, movement. If I was in the truck, the only thing that sounded like it can't reproduce like the loudest sounds. Like if an explosion happens, it's not going to blow out your eardrums because it's limiting itself. But I went through the entire process of shopping and talking to employees and checking out without taking the headphones off my head. In complete confidence I was going to hear every word they were saying. In every position. And if I was standing there doing something and someone back here was like, excuse me, sir, I wouldn't have had to like, what? They were being right there and I would have known exactly where the fuck they are. So the two crowning jewels of these fucking headphones is the noise canceling is any more than this, and I'm pretty sure it's going to just give people psychosis. And the open air or whatever the fuck experience you want to call it is perfect. As perfect as it needs to be. I literally forgot I was wearing headphones. The comfort I finally worked out. I did a little bit of stretching on the thing. They're not too heavy. They're not too light. It all fit, and it was great. And I was like, oh, I'm wearing headphones. I should probably put music back on. And I'll give it this, when you're out and about, you're not really paying attention. The music is fine. It's fine. It's comparable. She's the scientist here. It's comparable. The scientist said, oh, okay, this is enough. And that's the reason that this review is going to be like a fuck you, because they definitely don't sound like a $600 headphone. They're comparable. They produce sound. There actually is some low end. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more bland, but it isn't as much bland as it is. I can hear AAC compression, because that's another thing. When I talk about, Bluetooth, it's all LDAC all day, all night, or aptX HD. Like, you need that like minimum level. But Apple, for whatever the fucking reason, because proprietary gay shit Apple is just like, nah, AAC is good enough. It's enough. Yeah, we don't need to fucking adopt any of these other codecs that people are using all over the world on every device. Nah, fuck it. And I was specifically listening to Game of Thrones soundtrack, season 7, the one where Cersei blew up the spoilers. Cersei blew up the thing, and it's like that 9-minute long. What's the name of that song? But the 9-minute long song, and it crescendos at the end. And I remember listening, like I was into it, and I was listening to it on this, and I was still into it until the very end, and it was just like, oh God, oh, it can't handle this. It couldn't handle it. It could not handle it couldn't handle the I didn't have it up like blastingly loud. I have it up loud, but I could actually hear the limitations of AAC, because you can't tune that out. You just can't tune it out. It's gonna be, or it's not gonna be. And I've listened to LDAC on things, and it's basically perfect. I can sit down with a fiber optic cable or an AAC or an LDAC thing and barely tell it apart. But anytime you get complicated, very, very detail-rich music, I know it's not as good. I know it's not as good. And we're just talking about the codec limitations. So now we have to talk about the tuning of the sound. Because it is, and I've heard other people say sterile, but that's what it is. It's lab coats, and they probably sat down 700 people, knowing Apple. They probably put 700 of their own employees in a seat and put headphone after headphone after headphone. Would you like A, or would you like B? Would you like C, or would you like D? Would you like E, or would you like F? And everyone checked a box. And 700 people or 1,000 people, however many people they were able to checked all these boxes. And what they did was run it into a giant algorithm computer and says, okay, people want exactly this shape. And it sucks. It's not right. It's DMS said the word soulless to me when he sent it to me. Yeah, it's a little bit soulless. And I have to concur. Because it sounds fine. Fine. F-I-N-E. The problem with F-I-N-E is $600 fucking dollars does not equal fine. For $600, I expect to literally have to change my underwear most of the time when I'm listening to just, oh my God, underwear. Oh, it's so worth it. So it's like, I wanted it. And the thing is, I bought it with the intention of giving a review and the hope that I would just keep it outright without any fucking, it's going to be great. It's going to be fucking great. Because the AirPod Pros, while being a little bit under, just like, I'm obviously like a $600 set of, no, actually those are what, $300? It's like a $300 set of IMs, but they're not wireless. So there's reasons to get the AirPod Pros versus like just a set of regular IMs, because you want that wireless feature. You want it to pop into the little stacks. You want noise canceling. Those are things that you literally can't get outside of like just AirPod Pros. But there are a cosmic fuck ton of noise canceling headphones on the market. And the Pandas aren't even active noise canceling. In fact, the Pandas aren't even active DSP correction. They're physical DSP correction. When I pulled the driver off that, there was foam cut with a specific shape and there was care. If those were DSP corrected on top of being corrected with actual physicality, they'd probably be one of the best headphones ever. And then they got the THX amps, and I'm sure the amplifiers in this are fine. I don't know they're not using THX tech, or they'd have it written somewhere. But then again, Apple would just prioritize their own proprietary tech. It would be AAAA for Apple, and then that would be the tech they used. So yeah, no, I was listening to these, and I got a little bit of a bop in my step. I was okay with it. I'm not going to shit on the sound like entirely. To a lot of people who are going to listen to these for the first time, people who would not spend $600 on a headphone, you have spent $600 of this headphone, and you've made it 28 minutes in this video, and I'm going to tell you, it's probably the best headphone you've ever heard. But it ain't the best headphone I've ever heard. I heard lots of headphones. And I've heard lots of, closed back noise canceling Bluetooth headphones. And I would take a Sony set over these for sound quality, for just having a little bit of like a flavor to it. It's like if you took the top 25 ice cream flavors from Ben & Jerry's and you just melted them into a bucket and then froze it again and you ate that. I'm like, it's ice cream, I guess. So like, I like using them because fucking noise canceling, when that fucking heater is going, it's like, now it's not. I do feel like I could get murdered at any moment too. Like, I'm pretty sure if someone shot at me, I wouldn't hear the gunshot, and then I'd be like, where's my shirt wet? Oh shit. And when you have it outside and you're not in noise canceling mode and you're in open mode, the wind does make it go a little freaky. Like, the wind buffeting on the thing, so it like freaks it out. So I'm trying to think of my final thoughts on this, because there's really nothing else. I have to do the sound demo still, I think. DMS said he had problems trying to do it because it wouldn't detect a human head, so it wouldn't play. So I'll see. I'll slap some pieces of ham on my recording rig or something to get it going. I don't hate the build. I think the build is probably the best thing Apple has done in a while. As far as like these spring-loaded things, they're gonna probably annoy you. If they don't annoy you, you're lucky, because it's like if you got to bring it all the way down, which it doesn't actually adjust very far. That's another thing. This is a very like specific. Like, I have it all the way down, so I could usually judge if I take a headphone and put it all the way down how far in my head it goes, so I know how far the adjustability is. You've only got like 3/8 of an inch from like where I'm comfortable to where this will sit. And once this thing wears out, that'll get a little bit lower, but then you have to crank it up. And as far as the actual like that, I might try to link this DD Hi-Fi adapter, because then you could use an actual USB-C cable to charge it, because I literally have a fucking million USB-C cables, but no, Apple. Take these over here. Oh, probably should look at the wires it comes with. Did it come with this wire? DMS might have left this wire in there by mistake. Why does it have a oh, no, that's what. Wait. Huh? I know it comes with this wire because it's that's a USB-C to Lightning, so you can charge it. But I don't know why it has this Lightning to 3.5 millimeter. Oh, to plug in and go directly. Nah, I'm not gonna do that shit. It's not worth it. I don't care. I don't care enough. I don't care enough to do that, because it's just gonna. I know exactly what it's gonna do. It's gonna be the exact same sound, just you plugged in with a 3.5 millimeter. So it's just, if you're using it with the wire, first of all, that's a shit wire. But it's like why? What bother? You're here for the Bluetooth. You're here for the wirelessness. Oh no, don't include that in the sale. I love the controls. I think that this is the best solution they've got, is keeping it fucking simple. I like the headband, although I do think this is gonna wear out real soon. This is gonna just be like a flappy piece of fucking fabric. You're either gonna like Like, that's the sound of the pads. Just a warning, that's the sound of the pads. And I don't hate the way they feel. Their weight's not bad once you get wearing them. Sound is unimpressive for the cost. If these were a $300 pair of headphones, I have way less to complain about. Way less. Fucking way less. But Apple's putting that, like, hey, double the price because we're selling it thing on it. And everyone's freaking the fuck out. And, oh my God, buy them, buy them, buy them. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah. No. I probably will keep my set just to play with the noise canceling. Just to play with the noise canceling. Oh, did we talk about the annoying part where it doesn't shut off? So, like, it doesn't shut off. Like, they're together, and like, but they've been sitting there for a while. If I hit play, it's still connected. It's just still connected. AirPod Max. It ain't playing, but it's connected. If I take them out and I put them on, as soon as you touch them, they're on, and then they're playing. And you take them off, and they're still playing, even though it's not paused. They're not playing, but that kills the battery. So yeah, that's another problem, is they don't, and you have to, there's also no mode to have like not open or noise canceling, just like static headphone. So you either have to wait for the battery to die to understand how sealed these are before the noise canceling, and I've figured that out, or you have to hold down both of these buttons for like 8 or 9 seconds, and then you'll hear the noise canceling go out, and that resets the unit. I've had a problem today where it was connected to my phone, and it was making the beeps, and it was controlling the volume, and no sound was coming out. And I'm like, well, this is probably my phone's problem. Restart my phone. Still no sound came out. I could hear this volume clicks. I could see the volume clicks. I could play, pause, next track with the buttons. No sound. So then I had to hard reset the thing with the 2 buttons for 10 seconds. And then it worked fine. So, couple bugs. It's not unbugged. And then here's the real question. As an Android user, I'm not switching anytime soon. And I bought a blue set with Zio's Pantera written on it. How the fuck do I get to update this when they come out with the fixes? Apple? Because, I mean, I didn't think that far ahead when I purchased them. And I'd love to know how I'm doing that. Because I know with the AirPods, like the little AirPods, that you have to be connected to an Apple device, and then you gotta wait any random amount of time. Oh, it came out on Monday? Well, make sure you're connected from Monday till Friday, and maybe on next Thursday, maybe it'll get an update, and you'll never know it's even happening. So it's not like my friend with an iPhone can come over and just hook up to it and hit force update. That's not how Apple works. It's another reason I want to stab him. Because it's like, I don't know, we'll update it whenever we feel like, bruh, it's fine, it's fine. That's not fine. Give me an app on fucking Android in the goddamn Play Store that I could say, Apple device update. Run. Does it update? Okay, uninstall the whole fucking thing because I don't want it there. So, I don't know. I don't know what the future lies for you, me, anybody else who's got one of these and not an Apple device. So, I mean, the other problems I'm talking about. Oh, also, DMS informs me that some people, when they do the volume, which, again, nothing's functioning now because it's not on a human head, and that doesn't count as a human head. See if I put my thumbs in here, if it thinks that's a human head. Yeah, there you go. So there's volume, and there's pause. But, what was I just talking about? Pause. See that? That mutes it. But I had a thought. What was my thought? I had thoughts. At some point in my life, I had thoughts, and now I have thoughts and no thoughts. So go figure. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Unless you have a very, 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 very specific reason to buy these for specifically the noise canceling, there are other options, and I will link them in the description below. Starting with the Drop Panda. Because that headphone it's like the yang to this yin. It's definitely the yang to the yin. Because those have no active noise canceling and only physical tuning, and these have nothing but noise canceling and magic DSP tuning, which doesn't allow for any tuning of the actual driver. So it's like, Trying to think of anything else fucked with me in the recent memories. It needs to be charged constantly or put into its magnetic case to shut it the hell off. I kind of wanted to cancel my order, but by the time I got there, but after I'd heard these for a day or two, because my blue ones weren't shipping yet, I'm like, maybe I should just cancel it. I don't need it for $600. I didn't need it. DMS is like, oh, I like the noise canceling. It's great. And the sound is, I'd rather have $600. So if you'd rather have $600 and you've made it this far into the video, congratulations. You just earned $600 by not buying Apple AirPod Max. Congratulations. So the sound demo will be in the description. I was talking about the yard sale, which these will be in with the case and everything. So fancy. Oh, look, it's so fancy. It's raised texture. That's like it's real. I hate their wires. That'll be the $5 tiers on either the Patreon or Subscribe Star. 1st to the 10th of every month. If you want me to sign it, you want me to put a Weeb sticker on it, whatever you want me to do to these to sell them to you for more money, whatever the money is made back will go to DMS. He's probably going to lose money. There's no way anyone's paying the full fucking $600 that he paid for these. He should just return them to what's it called. But he's like, no, sell them. Sell them. It'll be good promotional thing. So thank you, DMS, for sending these to me so I could sell them in the yard sale and allowing me to do this review, 5 or 6 days earlier than it would be if I got the blue ones. You'll probably see the blue ones hanging around. Patreon and Subscribe Star, see these reviews early. Participate in the yard sales. If you want to get into the behind-the-scenes Patreon chat or Telegram chat for patrons and Subscribe Star subscribers, that's $10 a month. I'm in there. I answer everyone's questions, whatever you want. There's also a lifetime chat and a swap meet that is lifetime. That if you're in the $10 or the lifetime chat, you get into a private hardware swap with everyone else, which has so much gear in it that it's like it's really, if you have an addiction problem, don't join the $10 tier. You'll end up broke as fuck. That $10 will cost you $1,000 guaranteed. Yeah, no, I'm done. Are we done here? Now I got to set up my recording rig and the fucking heater's going. It's almost eerie when you have the noise canceling on. It's like, oh God, is space around me even? So that would be the only reason I keep it, is just to show off the noise canceling. If I use it for music, it's because I've run out of a lot of options. I mean, harmonic Dyne Zeus and a BTR5. Done. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you for stopping by. Wallpaper available in the description, and I'll see you all in Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forum. I'm sure there's an AirPod Max fucking post there. This video will be there along with other people's reviews. And we're good? Are we good? I'm good. You're good. We're good. Good night.